Hi everybody, it's Trish here from Tatty Patty Makes. How are you? Thanks for joining me. I've just come through a batch of 2.5 weeks of being really crook. Just some sort of a respiratory thing, but it just hung on and hung on and hung on, and I couldn't shake it. And I couldn't work because I'm a massage therapist by day, so I can't see clients when I'm feeling like that and I'm coughing or if I'm gunky or any of that stuff. So I couldn't work, and so I basically have laid around for 2.5 weeks doing absolutely nothing. Like, I mean nothing. And it got me thinking about all the times where you might be in a situation where you can't do the things you want to do. I found myself migrating to things that incorporated sewing in a way that wasn't sewing. Because you know that thing where you're sick and you don't have the energy and you get up and you might make a cup of tea and then you're exhausted and you have to go and lie back down again, or you might hang some washing on the line and then you go and lie back down again, and you just don't have the stamina to continue activities throughout the day. So I've just been taking it really easy, and I found for myself a few things that I think I'm going to share with you about what to do if you're in a no-sew zone. If you either don't have the energy or don't have the availability to do any sewing, there are some things you can do to gain inspiration and to progress your hobby. And there's a little bonus tip at the end of this video if you want to stay tuned. So my first suggestion, the first thing I started doing, and I like this because you can do it in really small batches. You can do a little bit and then put it down and come back to it and put it down. And that's slow stitching. I've always got a slow stitching project on the go, and the one I'm working on at the moment is a pair of jeans that I'm just adding bits to, little patches, some sashiko, Japanese slow stitching, and just a few embellishments here and there, and it's growing. So it started off just as a little bit of patching, a little bit of stitching, and then I added my elephant, and then I added a few other bits and bobs. So that was the first thing I kind of picked up about day 3 into the sickness, when I was tired of watching TV for a while, and that's what I would do, 10 minutes of it, and then just put it down and then lie down and have a rest, or it was just there to pick up if I wanted to do a little bit of something, and then put it down again. So as you can see, I'm not 100% yet. So yeah, that was the first thing. The second thing that I really enjoyed doing during this time where I had no energy and just felt like bleh, was catching up on my favorite magazines, my creative magazines. So for me, it's Frankie magazine here in Australia, but you might have your own favorites wherever you are. But I just like sort of pondering through that, looking at a page or two. There was an article in one of mine that I was reading about the do's and don'ts of secondhand selling. There was another article there about upcycling. So there's just, a lot of really funky adverts and things from indie makers and people who are small businesses and coming up with creative designs across all fields. Like there's a little bit of, art, a little bit of clay work, lots of jewelry, and just funky little homewares and clothes. So I really enjoy those magazines. When you're not feeling 100% or when you can't get to your sewing machine for whatever reason, it's a good outlet for creativity, is to lie down and have a little look through those magazines. You can use them while you're traveling as well. So I really enjoyed that aspect of hanging around. The third suggestion, when you can't get to the sewing machine or you're not well enough to get to the sewing machine, but you want that creative inspiration, is YouTube. It's a fantastic resource. There's all sorts of makers out there. There's people who do craft, there's people who sew, there's people who just upcycle, there's people who do patchwork, all sorts of levels of creativity, all sorts of levels of ability. And it's just really great to watch other people, and I often have those YouTube channels on while I'm sewing myself, just as a bit of company. I really enjoy watching what other people make and sort of going along for their ride. So a few of my favorites are Carly B here in Australia. She's a little cutie who lives nearby here, and she's quite successful on YouTube. She does a lot of great sewing projects. I get a lot of inspiration from her. Recently, I really enjoyed a video of hers where she made a really kooky, fun skirt, and I loved it. It was great. So it was fun watching along with that. As I mentioned before, I really like Scarlett from Afraid Upcycling in the UK. She's always got great ideas and she's just a joy to watch. I see that she's got another video out this week. After doing this, I'm going to go and sit and enjoy that one. There's a few other makers I like to watch. Hang on, I need to grab my phone to show you because I can't remember all their names. Oh yeah, okay, so T. Myers Handmade. I really enjoy her stuff. She does a lot of boho upcycles. She's really interesting to watch. I really love Kathleen Illustrated. I watch all her videos. And there was one more that I wanted to mention, and that was Orly Shani. I think that's how you say it. I've only just found her and started watching her, but I've just watched a beautiful video of hers where she upcycles a linen jacket by painting on it. And she does such a beautiful job, and it looks so easy when she does it, so I really enjoy watching her stuff too. So there's a few ideas for you there. And of course, something else you can do if you're feeling a little bit under the weather, or if you can't get to your sewing at the moment because you're too busy, or maybe you're away from home, you've gone away on a work trip or whatever it might be, is to take a few little pieces of scrap with you and spend your time cutting out the pieces for your slow stitching or for your appliques, or just to prepare for other projects. So I've been watching a few videos lately on people making cloth patches. So you can, you know, cut out around some flowers on a nice floral print, or figures or stars, whatever it might be. And then when you get back home, or when you're able to get back to the sewing machine, you can turn those into patches or stickers. There's lots of different things you can do, and there's heaps of info on YouTube about that. I'll point to some of them in the description below. But that's a nice idea because it allows you to be hands-on with fabric, but you don't have to take much with you. You can still be actively involved in your sewing in that way. Oh, have you seen my skirt? I'm wearing it now. It's really cool, hey? It's got a puppy dog eye applique onto it. Did that a couple of weeks ago. Actually, I haven't done much in the sewing room lately. Even before getting sick, I was pretty busy at work, so I didn't get a lot done. But it just reminded me that the most enjoyable thing that I've done the whole time I've been off work and unwell and just lazing around a bit, taking care of myself, was to watch Great British Sewing Bee, finally. For years I've thought about watching it, and I've often watched snippets of it on YouTube, not snippets of the show, but snippets of other people talking about the show. There's a lot of channels out there dedicated, or that dedicated time to episodes of the Great British Sewing Bee. I have never seen it, and finally sprung the $10 a month or whatever it costs for binge here in Australia, and they've got every episode, every season. So I think I'm halfway through season 3 at the moment. I'm actually at the semi-final. So that's been really enjoyable to watch. I just love it. And like, I can knock over a whole season of that in an afternoon, evening, while I'm lying around being unwell. So that's something you can do anywhere if you're away from your sewing. You can go back, if you've already seen them all, go back and watch, you know, an old episode. It's really inspirational, and I've learned a lot about technique too, watching the sewers doing those projects. Some of them are quite intense, and just a different way they handle different fabrics. It's taught me, you know, what I want to stay away from and what I might like to have a go at in the future. So that's been fun. Also, if you've seen all of Sewing Bee, there's another program that I've only managed to see 2 episodes of it online on YouTube, and it's called So Fierce. And it's like Sewing Bee, but with a drag queen kind of spin on it. So it's a competition. They have to sew these outfits. They're supposed to use kind of quote unquote drag styling and fabrics and that sort of stuff. They get marked down if things are a bit staid and a bit plain, but it's a lot of fun to watch too. So I've been enjoying a few episodes of that. There's only a few of those online though. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing since I haven't been able to get to my sewing machine, but hopefully it's quite messy in the sewing room at the moment, and I just don't have the energy or the stamina to get in there and do anything with it. But hopefully in a couple of days I'll be back on deck. I've been doing garlic shots. I've been drinking lots of orange juice. I've been sucking on cough lollies like there's no tomorrow. Obviously, I'm still coughing. Yeah, I'm just... Look, to be honest, it's all I could do to put on a face and get dressed. I'm going back into my jammies now, and I'm going to go back to bed. But I just wanted to share all that with you and say hello. Thank you to everybody who's joined me in the last couple of weeks. Also my Instagram, slowly, it's so hard starting something like that off from scratch, especially these days. I feel like I've well and truly missed the boat, but it's something I've really wanted to do for a long time, and I'm glad I'm doing it. Hi everybody, I'm back at work now. I'm feeling much better. So thanks for staying with me till the end of this video. I promised you an extra little tip and I'm about to deliver. Something that's really gotten me through in the last few weeks and actually enriched my sewing and enriched my whole crafting experience, I guess, is connecting with other sewers, because it can be quite a isolating thing to be doing. Obviously, if you've got a shop or a business and you're dealing with customers and stuff, you know, you've got that interaction going on. But if you're just sewing in your little sewing room all by yourself, trying to make good with your projects, it can be a little bit isolating, particularly I find when things don't go to plan and you end up with a project that didn't quite work out. So I've been connecting with some different Facebook groups in the last couple of weeks while I've been unwell. I've connected with denim upcyclers. There's a couple of de-stash groups where people buy, sell and swap their fabric from their stash just to get a bit of variety in their fabrics at home. So that's a good one. And just a few beginners Facebook pages and also upcycling Facebook pages. And there's a scrappy one as well. And I'll put the links down below. For example, I posted on one of the pages the other day that I was having this drama that every time I wanted to do a project, and I had a million things saved on Pinterest that are in my to-do list and things that I'd love to try and replicate or make something similar to, I would approach my fabric stash and just be unable to get going with a project. I'd and and get fabrics out and look at different things and put them back, and basically, it comes down to a fear of failure, I think. Fear of not being able to do the fabrics justice. I know it sounds stupid. And I've been sewing for years, so I don't know where this is coming from, but it's getting worse the older I get. So anyway, I connected with a Facebook page about this, and I have got so many beautiful suggestions and comments of support of other people who feel similar. There was one lady who wrote that she thinks all her fabric in her stash is ugly, and she's got all these beautiful projects that look gorgeous in Pinterest, but you know, when she comes to do them, she looks at her fabric stash and she doesn't think any of the fabrics justify the project. So, you know, everybody's got their own stuff going on in their heads, but I found that really helpful and just really nice to know that there's other people out there that feel the same way as you, and other people who have been there and have worked out ways to overcome those things. So that's another one to look at. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'm so happy to be feeling so much better. I look forward to making the next video because it's on a cool little project I'm doing. But until then, please like, subscribe, and if you're into sewing or you have sewing friends, please share my channel. It's really difficult to start off a new channel, and I'm just trying to build a bit of community. So I'd love to have you on board, and I would love to be able to keep making videos. So let's see how that goes. Okay guys, happy sewing. Until next time. Bye.